All right, so the budget battle of GPUs, the new generation, the RTX 40 series, that 4060 Ti 8GB is out, and the 7600, the RX 7600 non-XT is also out. It's at $400 for that 4060 Ti and $269 for the 7600. So the 4060 Ti is just absolute dog poop, right? Excuse my language, it's just a terrible card. For our next generation card to at most give you 3 to 5% improvement plus that huge price hike is just not worth it at all. And even the 3060 Ti was outperforming it in some games. That's insane. Anyone that tries to make any justification for that new Nvidia card, that 4060 Ti, that, oh, if I'm coming from a 10 or 20 series, just stop it. It's terrible. It's an awful buy. Do not recommend it. You should be looking at the 6700 XT or the 6750 XT from AMD instead. So instead, what you actually really should be looking at, and I never thought, over the past year I would say it, but you should be looking at Intel. Yes, over 6 months ago, Intel went into the discrete GPU market, and they came out with this bad boy, the RX750. This is the limited edition. It's a beautiful card. Now, I had to redo this part for filming. This is why this video is a little bit delayed, because Newegg was selling this brand new for $200. It does MSRP at $250. I bought this about last week at Micro Center. This was open box, and I got it for $199. So when I saw that it was brand new on Newegg, I kind of had to switch things up, and I had to mention the video because there is a strong possibility that Intel might go back with this, especially because, again, I had to do this video a couple times. The 7600 drop price to that 270 USD. So the ARC A750, it has 28 X cores. It has a base clock speed of 2050 gigahertz a second, 8 gigabytes VRAM, GDDR6, PCIe 4.0 with 16 lanes, and conveniently, this thing also has AI upscaling, where you get frame generation, comparable to AMD's FSR or Nvidia's DLSS 3. Right, so that's a very, very welcome addition, to be able to upscale to those higher resolutions and generate frames so you get even better performance. Now, about the VRAM discussion, guys, this card at MSRP is $250. It's fine. That 8 gigabytes VRAM, it's still getting you, according to the most popular benchmarks, it's still getting you 60 to 100 FPS on high settings in a lot of the AAA titles. That's huge. We've kind of been so disillusioned with the shitty pricing of the new generation that we kind of forget that, hey, at $250, this is fine. At $200, this is effing insane. I can't mention and put enough emphasis, but at $200, if you're able to get this used, you might even get it used on, Marketplace or the another markets, but you see that the price can come down to that, and, at $200 or $250, it's a great, great, great product, right? I understand it has faults when it comes to older titles that are not DX12 or even DX11. But overall, it's not an excellent product, but it's a great product for its price, guys. It's a very, very important thing to look at. So what I really wanted to actually talk about when it comes to productivity and content creation is that this card, when it came out, compared to at least AMD's 6000 series, this card gives you AV1 encoding, which is kind of, at this time of filming, I do believe that it's the lowest price point where you can get it. So another thing when talking about productivity and content creation, Nvidia already offers this, but you have Intel QuickSync when you have the Intel GPU, you have an Intel CPU. If it has iGPU, that iGPU is still able to be utilized in productivity if you enable Intel QuickSync, right? So that's another, it's not an exclusive feature, but it is something nice to think about if you do go this card instead of, the 7600 or the 6600 or a 6000 series card. This card generally performs well in productivity and content creation. I looked over Puget Systems and what they were saying, at least the articles, they have very, very favorable reviews. Obviously, it's not going to beat out a 3060 Ti when it comes to tasks like that. But guys, the price at $200 to $250, now you're talking to me, because instead of getting into, let's say you have family members that want to stream or get into video editing or content creation, and oh yeah, my 15-year-old cousin wants a new PC and his parents are, bother me about it, what do I recommend to them? You can't really give them a cheaper AMD 6000 series. Oh, you know what? I can give them an Intel Arc, maybe even get a used one, and now, you can get them into it at extremely budget price point where now you can do a $500 build PC with this. If you really, really go budget the rest, I went on PC Part Picker, spent 30 seconds, and I got a sub $600 build with this. I just recently did a, GigaChad budget build, but that has nowhere near the productivity performance that an ARC limited edition will get you. That's something to consider, guys, right? Like for me, I don't consider myself a professional. I'm not I don't work from home. I don't do I don't do any AI stuff. I don't do any high usage when it comes to the computer. And if you would have told me, because I built my PC in December of last year, if you would have told me, and even people that I've built PCs for, if I would have known better and if the driver issues were resolved a little bit earlier, and they want to, I just don't want a game. I want to do some productivity. I like, editing. I like doing this. I like doing that. Guess what? There was a $250 budget option for them that I could have recommended, and I didn't even realize it, right? I never thought I would say, but this really is, Team Green, Team Red, and here you go. Team Blue is the winner. They really are the winner at that budget price point.